As I say that, I'm going to get the word that we're going to be back in, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for Consulate here in Las Vegas at the Rio. Let's get right into it. Straight off the bat, we are going to have console office meeting room being selected by the boys over on Spacestation Gaming. Immediately, we're going to have a 6-pick off that pulse to the alibi for Rampy.
I'm going to change out an information gatherer here on Consulate. You mentioned this before when you're playing down in the basement with that cardiac sensor. You can see through the floors with it, give you a great view all the way up to the 2nd floor. It makes Pulse really powerful here, but with vertical on IQ, I think that's a smart change.
Absolutely, always a dangerous operator, and I mean, along with that, there's a couple things you don't want to do, especially since we do have 6-pick now. Some people don't know that's in the game, some do, but if you guys didn't know, that makes it to where you can pick an operator after the reveal phase that is in competitive play. But the main things you don't want to do that are kind of a no-no in that reveal phase is do not pick Valkyrie, do not pick Pulse, do not pick anybody that IQ can really tag onto, i.e. Alibi as well, because she is able to see you through walls and chase you down. You really don't want to do that, as well as with Valkyrie, she can destroy all those cams off of anywhere you want to put them.
The one thing with IQ is, regardless of what's being brought from Space Station's side of things, you got Redeemer with the 2 Yokai drones. That's going to be IQ's biggest focus. Vertical will likely take quite a bit of time to try and figure out where the Yokai drones are. And you can see what Vertical's doing there is he's scanning the basement portion of Consulate, which is down inside of Archives. And the reason why he'd do that is because that's usually where Pulse will sit with the cardiac sensor. And when he's on that heartbeat sensor, he's picked up by IQ. So Vert realizing maybe there still is a Pulse on the map. They don't really know yet. Rampy's going to be the first person to take any damage here in this matchup, and oh, it's like textbook. Rogue will find Rampy and eliminate him. Overall, this weekend, Rampy's effectiveness on Alibi, I think, really needs to be called into question, especially on Bank yesterday. It's ineffective operator choice for what they've tried to accomplish.
Did not find very much success, but easily will successfully find a headshot on a Bosco, and Vertical gonna follow it up on T'Challa. There's a couple rules about Consulate, ladies and gentlemen, and one of them is do not try and stick around inside of admin, otherwise heads will roll, and that's exactly what's happening for the boys of Space Station Gaming right now. Thinking Nane and Redeemer, the only 2 up, as we do see Easily doing his best Spider-Man impression on the side of the building.
Thinking Nade, one of the most underrated players that has been in this tournament, has proven to be clutch at every opportunity, and he just misses easily. Had taken the Thatcher off of Rappel, upside down by the console windows and over by Meeting Room where he was playing. It was a good opportunity for Thinking Nade. Could have picked up a very important kill there.
This is the first round, guys. This is the first round. I'm already gonna have a heart attack. I really don't know what to do with myself right now. But Easily gonna break off the window for the connector, see if he can find anybody playing up inside of Meeting. Close near the back, as he is just waiting for the rest of his team to get in place to make this push. I do like how Rogue have slowed things down, using those drones to find out where the last 2 combatants are at. Thinking Nade's still having 3 of those remote gas grenades. Speaking of other grenades, Eclipse has a couple of those as he is going to waste his last one. But oh my goodness, a flurry kill is going to come out right there. It is going to equalize this. 2v2 is the current situation. The shuttle is trying to find another one, but it's not going to find anything with those couple shots.
It's a bit unwieldy to be able to control that SMG-12, and it's a standoff for the time being with not a lot left on the clock. Perfect time as any for a logic bomb, and Thinking Nade's still deeply entrenched, but he'll get pinched. There's Easily, but Redeemer holding it down. Takes one in connector. Oh, the dream. A big round for Redeemer, proving that maybe that Maestro ban isn't going to slow him down. 3 kills in round 1, and Space Station are up 1-0.
We had a couple questions about it yesterday. He's been playing Maestro for a very long time, ever since Maestro was released. But it looks like the Echo God himself, Redeemer, is back to form, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if he can keep it consistent here for Space Station Gaming as he goes massive with that 3K the last round. They are going to be heading all the way downstairs as that 6-pick is going to come out from Bosco for the Vigil.
When you defend Garage downstairs, you almost always will see teams take some form of hard breach denial. COD's not currently enabled, so you really only have Bandit and Mute available. There's going to be a Mute who's seen his pick rate increase dramatically after the changes to him over the last patch. For those that are unfamiliar, he was given access to the SMG-11, similar to his colleague Smoke on defense. And in fact, a lot of the Mute play we've seen have run that exact same loadout as a Smoke would, shotgun with SMG-11 as your secondary. Mute usually sees play on console garage site because you can put the Mute jammers elevated above the floor. And because there is a height to that gadget, it'll stop drones on the first floor as well. But some teams will also use Mute to roam upstairs. There's a couple teams, including G2, have a strategy in which you set down a couple Mute jammers in locations where the defense can play tight corners and you just are unable to get the intel that you need in order to flush out those roamers. Waste a lot of time, but most importantly, can also land the roamer a kill or two.
Going to switch Rampy off of the Alibi over here onto Legion. Going to have him on the roam as well upstairs with Bosco. Now, the nice thing about that is those goo mines, as we have discussed before, are a tiny bit of information. As long as Rampy knows where he put those goo mines at, he can try and find as many of those upper bowl people coming inside, try and help out Bosco, get a couple kills off of that. But he does have his arch enemy Vertical playing at IQ, which you always got to worry about. Vertical has been pretty committed to IQ so far this game. We'll see how this pans out for him.
Previously, when he played on Rise Nation, Vertical would routinely use the IQ, sometimes changing it off with Hyper. Basically, with IQ, you get a 3-speed operator with a really good gun that does quite a bit of damage. And well, speaking of damage, it's going to be Space Station sustaining the first blow as Bosco falls, as the Vigil takes a minute off the clock in order for them to find him. It looked like that might have actually been some teamfire to Rampy. That could have been done, but the big issue with Space Station now is they have a lot of bodies off-site. We saw control of those yellow stairs, or Visa stairs rather, and that's where everybody escaped to. It's a perfect opportunity for Shuttle to use his first logic bomb that will ring out and try to catch some of the defenders. Eclipse and Altercation will take some damage as he's inside a piano. As commonplace as you can get for a soft destructor in order to try and make it very difficult for the defenders below, while also getting rid of the utility on the garage panels.
There's only a couple sites in this game where timing is of the essence, and this is one of them. The reason I say that is because most of the time you're going to be fighting off defensive utility. You want to get there in time to be able to burn out all of those smokes, those nitro cells, as well as those yokai drones, just to where they cannot stop you from putting the diffuser down. If you don't get there in time, they can literally just burn you out from anywhere you're trying to put that diffuser down at, and we are just about reaching that mark right now. Still 5 up for Rogue. As we do see Vertical looking for any utility downstairs. Shaw gonna find himself a little needle put into his ankle as things are about to get hellish.
No thermite means that this small round of Excaros was opened up earlier on will need to be the entry point for Rogue. They'll storm in through the smoke and toss them out on their own. Great grenade from Eclipse as it's traded off from Rampy. Eclipse goes down, Chala's there, Rampy tries to drop, he gets felled by Shuttle watching the rotate. Redeemer in from behind with some caliber-based destruction, trying to open up some sight lines. Shuttle is waiting, and he just absolutely demolishes Chala. And Redeemer on 2 seconds will need to stop the plant, but he can't do it. We're gonna see yet another clutch from Redeemer as he takes down easily. Still has a yokai drone. It's in play right now. Thankfully for him, he does have an ACOG equipped on that MP5, which will allow him to do battle with the ACOGs that will be sitting outside of the garage waiting. The big issue for defenders when a Hibana is brought and not a thermite means that usually the diffuser will go down in front of the very small hole so you can watch it. And there you have it. Slash is watching, and it's very easy. Just picks away at Redeemer, who doesn't really have much area to return fire at all. And Rogue, excellent job covering the plant, and they stick through it. Will tie us up.
Rogue coming off a little bit of stagnant play right there, but able to find out that they can get that round win in the end. 1-1 is the current scoreline. So we will be going back down to the cafeteria garage. Looks like SSG does not want to play lobby just yet. Wants to try and force that win downstairs. More than likely, we're worried about that roam game, possibly trying to patch that up just a little bit.
We'll say this, that the match against Rise Nation yesterday started off kind of slow for Space Station and a bit sloppy. They were regularly having people off on their own. No refrag potential, as you said many, many times. You can't fight for draws. There's no trades on the board. So essentially, you just die on a solo roam and you hope that you killed enough of the clock. But it's kind of reckless because you basically just give your life away. Same thing has happened here now. It happened with Bosco on round number 2, and in round number 1 it was Rampy, as well as Bosco, and then Chala not soon after. Space Station need to play tighter. Because right now, they're relying on Redeemer to get the clutches. They're hoping that their anchor play can suffice, but if your anchors are that dramatically outnumbered, Rogue is too smart of a team to fall victim to not pushing together. It's really easy to just realize that you don't have the numbers to contend with Rogue. That's what happened on that round, essentially. It was because Rogue had the numbers advantage and they could hold crosses and there was no return fire from Space Station.
Yeah, and the one thing about roam play that everyone will find out is it's probably one of the hardest positions to get right. You have to have a perfect balance between aggression and defensive play. You have to know when to rotate. You have to know when you can push forward to try and get those frags. Otherwise, you're going to put your team in a bad situation and more than likely lose your life. But, as I said previously, we will be heading back downstairs. Clips currently rotating up to the window right now. One of my favorite spots on this whole map is he is going to pre-fire in a meeting room, seeing if we can get a random wall bang onto one of the roamers. Now, the goal for SSG here is going to be the exact opposite of last time. They want to try and get these frags. They want to try and waste as much time as possible. Last time, Bosco getting punished for that.
And I would imagine that a part of Bosco's focus is to make Rogue's ability to wander into Piano much more difficult. Now, if you're Bosco, essentially what you want to do is you want to wait until there's a presence in Piano from the attackers, then you want to try to drop on them. But more importantly than that, you want to try to delay them from getting there as much as possible. So far, in terms of time management, that's something that Space Station is doing better than they did last round. But the real question is, how much of that is Rogue trying an alternate strategy? Well, you see there's a mute for Space Station, so you know that Rogue is going to have to try to take over Piano, and that's exactly where the buck of Eclipse is now. I have to imagine that somebody playing off-site for Space Station will have to try to get there. And there will be a yokai drone to do it for the time being, and as Eclipse is a little bit disoriented, it's a good opportunity for Space Station to jump on that, but there is no follow-up. As you can still see, Redeemer's yokai drone very active inside of Piano.
I'll give them a call.
Shuttle going to use his last logic bomb here, and this will be the one to try and find these roamers, as they are going to go try hunting for them right now, but no aggression coming out. This is exactly what you want out of your roam game, ladies and gentlemen. Bosco, as well as his friend upstairs, are wasting plenty of time. It happens to be Rampy on that Legion, as they will rotate down through Tellers. Now, if they're able to get back to site, this is a fantastic roam game, not losing a single life, but they might get aggressive over here on my favorite call of the map, Antechamber.
This might be an issue with the roamers of SSG just not being connected enough to where the push from Rogue is happening, but Chala's going to eliminate Slash as the hard breacher holding Diffuser. Excellent. You saw the X-Kairos being applied from Rogue onto that bathroom hatch. Will facilitate a drop if Rogue needs it, but that'll be it for hard destruction. Only 30 seconds left in round number 3, and it's an eerily quiet take for the moment, as Rogue does look to assemble over towards the garage. Shuttle position on yellow to try and hold the cross, as there go out his smoke grenades, answered by smoke canisters. Bosco managing to survive till the end of the round. He'll take out easily. The yokai drone is there to disorient everyone, and it's just SSG grabbing so many kills. Chala, Bosco, and Thinking Nate will get the final 4 kills. Put Space Station back in the lead. Excellent job by Space Station to keep the roamers alive, waste that clock, and force Rogue to have to commit to a more aggressive roam clear, wasting enough time that Space Station just held on in the dying seconds.
Lightning will not strike twice as they try for the late push once again. It's not going to work out for them. That is the beauty of time right there for the defense. It's always on your side until that diffuser ends up going down. Then it flip-flops. That is another thing that's very, very hard to get right in this game. Once you get that diffuser down on the offense, you're now the defense. And a lot of people kind of overdo it sometimes on that end of things when they do get a little bit too aggressive. But
defenders, protect your bombs.
It's not going to happen so far. Last time, had a great plant down there, worked out very well for them. This time, again, that time just biting them. But we will be going back upstairs this time around. Last time, had a pretty good defense up here set up that ended up getting clutched up by Redeemer. We'll see if he can possibly do it twice, or if his team will be there to support him.
Already his impact has been felt more on Consulate than I think we saw on any other map yesterday. I think that Redeemer's play was very ripe for criticism, especially the way that they've worked around it. And Redeemer maybe just needed some more time to work out on this operator that
10 seconds left before insertion.
he used to be known for, infamous in North American circles. And his play was, I know, at least somewhat copied by colleagues of his in Latin America and APAC and in Europe. But getting settled into an operator like Maestro, who does play quite different from Echo, is that mindset that he might be able to play Maestro with, very aggressive, and was noted by Zeronic on the desk. Could just be the LMG of the Alda. It's 80 bullets, it does a ton of damage. Maybe. There's just bad habits that he has to unlearn. He has to be a little bit more cautious with Echo, and it seems like so far that's what he's been doing. Now, we look towards console office. Site is unlocked as it is round number 4, and Space Station, who looked like they were going to be running a pulse on this site the first time, opted to go with the alibi instead. Well, they're going to stick Rampy on the pulse. It gets spotted by Verticals. That information is known to Rogue. It's something that they're going to have to try to find that pulse. And that'll probably be one member of Rogue doing it. I mean, it's likely going to be Vertical, let's not kid ourselves, but you can also put Shuttle on that job too.
Vertical currently questioning if he can shoot through the floor downstairs. Sadly, it is tile, so he's not going to be able to wallbang Rampy downstairs just yet, as he is just going to go out of range for that 15-meter scan that is currently on IQ's wrist. Approaching the halfway point now as things are starting to get set up by Rogue. Now, they have been taking pretty methodical pace so far this game. Do not want to leave any boxes unchecked until they are ready for that execute. Slash going to start opening up the back of meeting, but it's going to get impacted from down the hallway.
There's going to be one X-Kairos that goes off, I think. 2 X-Kairos that goes off. And even with such a small window, it's thinking Nade, who almost losing his life, but it's a tiny bit of damage here as Slash cannot connect all of the shots. It's dangerous for the smoke of Space Station and could have wound up with Rogue getting an early kill. Eclipse, just a bit of sloppiness as he doesn't know that there's an ADS positioned around the doorway in towards Projector. One of those really pivotal frag grenades to be grabbed by the gadget of Jaeger.
Slashug trying to dedicate those flashbangs to burn that ADS, but since it was all the way across the room, it's not going to happen. Bosco going to find easily somewhere along the lines, and actually Bosco's outside. I don't think you're supposed to be there, buddy, but hey, you're going to get back inside. You're going to go inside of yellow as your phone is going to vibrate, but Eclipse is on the hunt. Nade going to find one as well as Slashug is going to go down. Things are starting to heat up upstairs as Eclipse is on the hunt. Bullets going to chase down Bosco from behind, but none going to make contact. Nade going to find one, but he immediately gets refragged by Vertical. Eclipse has to dedicate himself somewhere. He's currently stuck on yellow stairs trying to deal with roamers as he begins his slow descent. He actually focuses his sights back downstairs. Vertical's going to get taken out. It's all left up to Eclipse, all alone on yellow. It's just a matter of time before this goes SSG's way. Eclipse trying to find anyone that's going to peek him. It's not going to happen. And this, oh my goodness, Eclipse going to put Bosco down. But Rampy with a very nice nitro cell to clean things up. An explosive finish right there for the boys of Space Station Gaming. And oh my goodness.
Through the hatch.
Oh my goodness.
Oh!
That's a Kobe and a half.
Oh, I hope that's in a highlight. For those that didn't see, Rampy through the C4, through the hatch above him, in piano,
yeah.
Through the hole that had been opened up in the cubby wall of console office and down. Absolutely incredible, down onto yellow stairs. Given that this is their map and the fact that it's SSG absolutely controlling the pace, especially after that one round that Rogue took, SSG looking better as the 2 rounds have gone on, it's going to be a tactical timeout for Rogue and allowing their coach Ranger to address this issue. A couple things on that round that I thought really stood out to me. The first round that Space Station defended inside of admin, they had Rampy roaming, they had Bosco playing in it, and Chalo wasn't too far behind. That's 3 bodies all trying to keep control of admin. You don't usually see just those many pulses on the bodies of the defense in that close of an area. And it was Rogue very swiftly taking it out, which put a lot of pressure onto the remaining 2 members of Thinking Nade and Redeemer. And amazingly, Space Station still won that round. But they, I think, assessed that maybe that was too much. They moved some pieces around the board. They didn't actually have anybody defending inside of admin. Looked like Chala might. The Rook playing inside of the kitchen staff area, but he peeled off really quickly. I think that was instrumental at leaving Space Station in such a strong position that they ended that round, barring the final kill onto Bosco on the stairs in the dying moments, in essentially 4 of their teams still being alive.
Well, the surprising thing about that for me is that we didn't see any castle upstairs trying to help them out. Traditionally, when you do an admin setup, you do run that castle to try and defend yourself on rotations, especially for your Mira inside a little kitchenette area. But another thing that really surprised me, no mutes up there. You have people dedicated to corners. You had the alibi of Rampy over stuck in a corner behind a shield. No mutes to where he cannot play safe, try and keep away from those drones. That's exactly what happened there when Vertical ended up getting that kill. But as we are going to be jumping into round number 5, what do you think of taking that time out at this moment?
I think it's as good a time as any. Consulate does end up being quite rhythmic. I think the last time I really delved into it, and there's probably going to be a stat that pops up to either prove me wrong or prove me right, but Consulate is one of those maps that's very even. It tends to be affected dramatically by the operator bans. But I find that there's a lot of times on Consulate, at least from recent memory, where the defense just ends up taking it and it's almost unshakable. I think that speaks to the fact that teams might not have their attacking strats all lined up. For Rogue in particular, they're still adjusting to this roster with Vertical. Yes, I do think that it is probably an upgrade on their roster overall, and this is Rogue looking really strong, but you need more time to be able to gel. Space Station has had more practice than Rogue have, and I think that could be a difference maker here.
I mean, you say that, but the last time that C9 won an event in DreamHack Montreal, they had Mark for barely any time at all. I think it was roughly 2 weeks, and they ended up winning that event, taking a lot from them. But as you guys do see, we do have Bosco on very low health, actually down. He is going to end up getting picked up by that friendly mute of Thinking Nate.
Redeemer and Bosco involved in the first bit of action, taking just about a minute here. With the site being on the lobby, it's the main floor of Consulate. Your defensive setup is going to not mirror the console office upstairs, but it's going to look very, very close to it. However, Space Station has almost completely conceded that second floor. We can see, from our perspective, there are no silhouettes of the defenders up top. It's just going to be the lone yokai drone trying to give coverage inside of Projector. Rogue have complete control of console office, which is over top of the A bomb site. That's positioned in Piano, the other bomb site over by Circle Desk in the main lobby. There's going to be a call here for a repel, and Chala just cannot hit his shots. A heartbreaker, as it looks like he might tag easily a tiny bit. That's going to be all she wrote on that play from Chala.
I always love this kitchen spot with Pulse, breaking open that hatch so you can toss the nitro cell to try and prevent plants, since they do have that vertical control. You guys just heard the gracious Parker talking about. They will start to focus on that main lobby, but Bosco going to find one in the process of me talking. His shuttle is going to get taken out. But Diffuser starting to go down inside of Piano as Vertical is going to stick the plant, easily going to find one of his own onto Bosco, but no, the nitro cell from Thinking Nate, and Chala following it up onto Eclipse. It's a 2v4 situation. Space Station definitely up in space right now as they're making it look so easy.
Knowing that there's not a lot of time, easily has to rappel in to grab the diffuser and ramp. He's watching the window. A vault out from another window as Thinking Nate takes one blast of his shotgun, cleans up what little was left of Rogue. That round was a perfect example of how we say contributions don't always show up on the scoreboard. That C4 from Thinking Nate, the mute play to take out the diffuser of Vertical, was entirely due to Rampy playing Pulse underneath by Yellow Stairs and relaying that information. You don't have a Pulse playing in that spot, you don't necessarily know that that plant is going down. And from our look, it didn't seem that Redeemer's yokai drones were anywhere close to being able to getting a planter mid-plant. So huge contribution from the Pulse of Rampy right there. He's not going to be noticed for it on the scoreboard. He's not going to be credited with the kill, nothing like that. But he might have won that round for them by being able to shut down that diffuse play while the rest of SSG just simply held their angles and forced Rogue to have to try to pick up that diffuser with very limited time left.
We see you, Rampy. We see you, which is always good. I always respect a very good Pulse, especially coming after that last map with Canadian, the Pulse himself. Always got to respect that man as well, but we will have another Pulse coming into play. This time around, it will be Eclipse, who so far has not found too much success as he is sitting on 2 and 5, but that might switch around right now. Scoreline currently is 4-1 in favor of SSG. So we are going to get that Siege GG stat on your Consulate.
I'm sorry, Intero was right.
Well, look at you.
It's on there.
It's like it's your job or something. That's crazy.
Mom, get the camera. Thank you very much, CG.
Oh my goodness. Spencer's probably so happy right now.
Spencer, I bet he hated writing that.
He probably did.
I bet he hated writing it, but much appreciated.
Yeah, we love you, Spencer. But we are going to be getting right into round number 6 right now. Hopefully, we are going to see a little bit of a comeback from Rogue. This is exactly what I was talking about when I wanted to see them push to the limit. Right now, we're about getting to that mark. We're almost at the point of no return, at least for this map. They do have another one, but I mean, after getting just completely stomped on a map, going to the next one is always a very difficult thing. It's very hard to reset.
It's hard. I think it's really important to put into perspective where Space Station is for the time being. Even if it's a 54-46 split, that means that it should be a 3-2 scoreline at absolute most for Space Station. So they are currently beating the odds of defense. But also for Consulate, being Rogue's pick, Rogue is 7-1-0 on this map over the last 6 months, whereas Space Station is 2 wins, 4 losses. And they have banned it. Space Station have banned it 13 times. It is one of their most banned maps. Now, what often gets overlooked is that teams will specifically withhold strats and will withhold playing on certain maps for big moments like this. And when you're playing for the Western Conference Championship, this is as big a moment as you're going to get. So this could just be that maybe Space Station have always felt confident here, but they just wanted to keep it for a good opportunity. And well, looking to try to go to match point. It'll be Bosco eliminating Eclipse, the IQ finding the pulse, as is tradition. And that's going to be an early advantage in numbers for SSG.
As soon as that happens, Shuttle is going to find one of his own on a thinking nade, and Redeemer going to find one of his own with a Capital. The one-eyed wonder. I've always wondered how, you know, he just aims that gun with one eye. I mean, he has nowhere else to look. He's got the eye patch, but he's going to find that kill anyways, and is going to be the mute off the board. So no more Nitro Cell. They do still have plenty of denial in and of easily, as well as the smoke getting played by the man's name that I can't exactly remember right now, Slashhog. My memory was just popping there for a second, but as we are going to hit that minute mark, EMP is going to start coming down from Rampy as they do push themselves towards yellow.
Here's one of the things with an IQ on the board for Space Station. If they're able to keep a significant numbers advantage, you can have Bosco use that sensor without fragging potential. He's going to stay alive, at least for the time being. Shuttle pushing onto yellow stairs takes out Rampy, but Bosco swiftly refrags. That'll be Bosco's second kill, and he'll grab a third. He's absolutely unbeatable. Slash, a beautiful shot onto Bosco. So clutch. Slash can be. Plant going down from Chala. Redeemer looking to cover. SMG-11 just cannot engage at such a long distance. Diffuser goes down successfully, and Slash will look for the clutch, as there's some marks coming out, at least for the time being, on the Yokai drone. But he peeks around the corner a little too slow. A monstrous kill from Chala with Redeemer waiting patiently. Absolutely excellent play. Great coordination from SSG on the post plant, and that'll be match point for Space Station.
We love to talk and talk and talk about impact.
I just love talking, period.
Honestly, yeah, same. I mean, that's kind of why I'm here, sort of, kind of. Anyways, 5-1 scoreline. What I was talking about, anyways, is the importance of impact frags. And that is one right there for Chala. He might not be that high on the scoreboard, ladies and gentlemen, but those are the kills that count, and that is what wins you those games. Exit frags don't matter. That kill that you just saw Slash get does not matter, but that impact frag onto him does. So as Space Station is poised to take the first map, Consulate, off the board, they're looking really good so far. I mean, the addition of Bosco, Bosco really is showing you exactly what he can do right there as well.
His job is to get frags, and he's doing so quite well. Redeemer also showing up for his team at one of the lowest costs. Just stands for kills, objectives, what is it? It's kills, objectives, survival, and trade.
Because you just told me this.
Which basically means that measures your impact on a round. Because there are times, for example, a trade, it's just simply surviving until the end and holding an angle in a post plant. That is important, because if you can live towards the end of the timer, you can see that the attackers have to be, or the defender has to be forced off of disabling the diffuser when it gets put down. So, overall, it's been Space Station. Unfortunately for this crowd, which does seem to be largely in favor of Rogue, spotting a lot of Rogue jerseys here. Rogue haven't given you, crowd, a lot to cheer for, so if you could maybe motivate them and cheer for the teams you support here. That would be a perfect opportunity to do so, but the crowd says no thank you. So clearly, not happy with the performance. Match point, 30 seconds in, and Space Station looking to send it to Clubhouse, a map that both teams are very good on, but a map that Space Station has been among their best maps over the last couple months.
Yeah, their key to victory here is definitely taking this map off the board and coming out on top. Now, Rogue has really been riddled with early deaths so far on their defense, as well as their offense, just giving a little bit too much. They had a really, really good round, very first round on the map, where obviously you guys can see is the one that they won, which makes that a 5-1 scoreline. That's what we're looking at right now. But, oh my goodness, shuttle onto Redeemer right there. Gonna remove his head for him, as he's gonna try and find another one. Thinking Nate trying to find a couple. Those nades, as just said, but he is going to kind of go through a blunder right there. Club's going to pick up Shala as well, and things are starting to heat up for this defense.
At the current moment, Space Station are completely lost. And you saw the mute of Vertical that was playing up in Projector. He was behind a soft wall. A simple drone coming in would have alerted anybody on Space Station Gaming to his position. They're still going to find him anyway. It's going to be Thinking Nate holding the C8 and absolutely pulverizing Vertical, as the mute does not have a chance to pull the trigger on that shotgun.
Offense now trying to focus up, trying to find any more roamers that could possibly be around. And right now, it's just not looking too good for SSG. Now, the beauty of match point is that all it takes is one mess up from the other team. You will be securing that map. But right now, not looking too good for them at this time. They do have the diffuser down. It's actually all the way outside, so they're going to have to get that first before going for this execution. Otherwise, they really can't plant. They're going to have to go for the frag chase.
It looks like it's going to be Thinking Nate who's going to jump out and try to grab it back, as he will. That's going to take about 10 seconds off the clock. Now, losing your hard breach is usually quite detrimental when you're attacking the garage on Consulate. Shallow went down earlier, leaving just 30 seconds. And still, Space Station do not have full map control. Rogue have so many roamers, including Eclipse on the Legion, playing far enough away that this could get very messy. Playing around the bomb chassis, it's going to be the Bandit of Easily, and Thinking Nate's going to win that fight, taking down yet another kill. I don't think he's aware that there's one playing inside of Closet. It's going to be the Doc and the plant going down, but oh, Eclipse and Slash get two, and Thinking Nate's so vulnerable. Rogue will stay alive at least for one round. An impressive comeback. They opened things up early. They kept their patience. They were rewarded. They'll take their first win on defense.
Slash, I'm sorry about your name, but I'm going to remember it forever after that play. Standing on top of the yellow pillar box, getting pretty creative with his angles right there, as he is going to be able to thrust Rogue into another round. Not out of the woods yet is SSG. You can see Rampy is going to jump onto the Blackbeard. I'm not really surprised anymore. Bosco was one of the greatest Blackbeards for a very long time there, but he does like those 3 speeds just a little bit more.
The way that Bosco played Blackbeard on his old team, Obey Alliance, would differ wildly from the way that he plays his role on Space Station. He's primarily the main entry fragger for Space Station, whereas he wasn't necessarily on Obey. That role had a bit more fluidity to it, and Obey had certainly no shortage of people who were capable of being an entry fragger if need be. But when you look at the way that Space Station plays around Bosco, not only is he one of the main entry fraggers, usually with Rampy at his side, Thinking Nate can also work support there. It's very similar to the flexibility that Rogue has, and something about Rogue actually that I commended them on a while back is that they might be the most flexible team. Everybody on that roster is capable of playing anchor, is capable of playing roam, is capable of doing entry, is capable of doing support, and doing hard breach and drone work. That is very important for a team, and that kind of depth usually works out quite well when things go sideways, because you can switch up your roles and still keep to a similar strategy, or just completely throw everything out and try something new. So, you look at this round that we have right now, round number 8, it's going to be a lobby defense. Console office upstairs did not work out for Rogue. They can go back there, but they instead opt for lobby, which, as I noted, plays out very similar to that second floor, Sam.
Yes, it does. Now, most notably for me here is going to be Shuttle on that Rook. We don't see Rook used too often in competitive play, just due to his kit, really. Usually he is played for those impact nades, but actually Shuttle is going to opt for just an ACOG and a deployable shield. Now, guys, I know you might have any question about his armor. What his armor does actually is it actually ups your armor level 1, unless you get shot in the head, which obviously you're just going to die. And on the other end of things, it does guarantee you go down and not out instead of instantaneously dying. But it does seem like SSG is going to go for kind of a routine take here. They do have Rampy playing over the CEO windows, as Thinking Nade is going to confirm that there is no ADS to stop his nade this time around.
It was vertical on the other side of that wall. There will be a mute jammer that will likely thwart the ability for Space Station to drone him out. Some shrewd play from Shuttle inside of the bathroom will eliminate the X-Kairos that were put down by Chala onto the wall behind Long Desk. It's going to deny Space Station entry. At least eat some more time on the clock, and will force Space Station to now have to try to pinch the Rook inside of said garage. And now Thinking Nade, realizing there's somebody on the other side of it, will try to take out the mute jammer, and oh, that's a nice nitro cell, but the frag grenade will drop, and easy enough. Meanwhile, Slash is the only person on Rogue side of things who's taken any damage, and he clips on yellow stairs up through the skylight. A remarkably hard shot to make. If there's anybody who's making it look easy, it's going to be Slash.
Yeah, apparently the high ground does not work in this case, Anakin, but we will move on further into this round as we will have that pick onto Redeemer. You never see that ever come out positive for people peeking on yellow, ever. I try to do it all the time, and I end up dying in the process just because, you know. Anyways, Thinking Nade, as they do have that vertical control, is going to be using the skeleton key to break things open, and wow, through 2 hatches, Chala is going to find Slash. Slash not going to stick around for too much longer, and that is going to be the Echo as well. That's a massive pick. Eclipse though, going to find Rampy. Nice headshot, as things are starting to teeter off for this round. 20 seconds left on the clock. This offense has to do something, otherwise Rogue will fight for another day here. As you can see, Thinking Nade getting aggressive inside of Piano. He has that lesion inside of his foot, but Eclipse going to find him with a pistol. 4v2 is the situation. 5 seconds left, but no, it's going to be extended by the diffuser. Easily going to full send it off the top rope on the Bosco. Chala tries to go massive, but no, Vertical going to find him, and he's also going to find that diffuser. And that's going to have Rogue continue to exist on this map.
You got to think how different that round plays out if Thinking Nade just doesn't miss his shots in Piano. There really wasn't much other than the screen being somewhat obscured by the fact that Thinking Nade had stepped into a goo mine, but he just completely whiffed onto Eclipse, playing by that Piano. That could have changed everything, because then you don't have somebody covering in Piano. Thinking Nade is still alive. It's going to force somebody from Rogue who were able to look from the bathroom on that main floor towards Circle Desk or main lobby. They would have had to then cover Piano instead. It would have been splitting up the remaining members of Rogue and could have possibly cost them. A bit of a hasty plant for Space Station, realizing that they were running out of time, and they just got caught with their pants down in the middle of the transition towards the post plant. And an easy defuse for Rogue. Backs against the wall, and it's been noted about Rogue that they tend to be one of the teams that you can never count them out. They're always there, they're always able to adapt, and when adversity is staring them in the face, they can conquer it more often than not. That's what we're looking at right now, and it's a really defender-sided affair for the time being. We'll see if it continues, as Rogue still has one more round after this one in order to try to force overtime and put this map away in their favor.
I don't know about you, Parker, but I'm feeling the overtime rush right now. Only 2 rounds needed. How are we feeling here in Vegas? Ladies and gentlemen, let's make some noise. That's what I'm talking about. I wanted to do that the entire time I've been here. This is fantastic. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys so much. But I am feeling that overtime for Rogue. They are on the fast track. Only 2 more rounds needed until they're able to push that. Oh man, you gotta love the energy here in this house.
The only downside, and not to put a damper on this crowd who are chanting for Rogue's name, is that Rogue has to go back upstairs to console office, which Space Station won last time. Rogue looks very shaky. If Rogue can get an early pick, then I think that's going to bode well. But if you recall last time, Space Station was the one who got that first pick. And it was Bosco entering, and he grabbed one really fast onto the pulse of Eclipse. Oh, would you look at that? Bosco's going to be back on the IQ, and Eclipse is going to be back on the pulse. Spot him through the window Essentially, Bosco's going to wait ever so patiently until he goes back on that cardiac sensor. Surely the Pulse knows. A couple warning shots from Bosco will force Eclipse to drop the sensor and head for the hills.
Yeah, Eclipse is going to have to be very wary here. They are not going to try and let him stay alive at all. As soon as Bosco even smelled any blood in the water of his presence, immediately started trying to hunt him down from every single cross angle. I mean, you had Redeemer, you have Rampy, everyone trying to hunt down Eclipse, trying to get rid of that information op that is so punishing if left alive. Now, he does have Vert along with him on that mute. Like we said, just recently getting that SMG-11. Sadly, one of Easley's yokai drones is going to meet death on yellow.
Vertical creeping over towards yellow stairs, shotgun in hand. Bosco needs to be really, really strong on this push coming out from the mute, who doesn't appear to be making one. He's just sitting patiently waiting, shotgun in hand. Essentially playing chicken at that point. See which one is going to blink first. He's going to be joined by Thinking Nate, actually, and Vertical is there. Bosco around the corner, and there's the shotgun, and oh, they'll actually walk away with it. Bosco very narrowly surviving, but the Pulse is there to trade that one off, and a great refrag from Eclipse will keep us at 4v4. That was an awful lot of time. Slash will not get too far, and oh, SSG in great striking position. They're up 4v2. With just a minute to go, it's going to rest in the hands of Shuttle and Easley. And if a comeback is going to happen, well, it's Shuttle starting things off. The Jaeger playing on yellow stairs. It's a kill on to Bosco. That was much needed. As the execute goes on towards B, Shuttle is still on yellow stairs, and he might be able to get a very important frag here. Rampy eliminates Shuttle, though, and easily falls. Space Station will grab Rogue's map off of them. They'll go up 1-0. And we'll look towards Clubhouse to see where they'll be crowning a Western Conference champion.
Rampy slowing things, excuse me, not Rampy, Bosco, that's what I wanted to talk about. Bosco slowing things down a lot for his team right there, prioritizing taking out those roamers first to make their job a little bit easier on site. Worked out fantastic, that methodical pace that, you know, originally really found by the boys of Vitality, it seems to be working out a lot today.
Yeah, and there have been a number of comparisons to Space Station. Vitality, of course, a very renowned French team who are notorious for taking to the final 10,